Previously on our camper remodel, we framed the bed and benches. I also finalized the design. Now Nick and I are continuing to work on the long list of projects that still need to be completed, but we encounter a few problems along the way with the paint color and the table. It's definitely not what I was going for. It's not that bad. We're planning to do butcher block for the countertop, and that just kind of seems to be the best option for something that we can realistically do ourselves, and I think it will look really nice. We ordered a sink and a faucet. I still have not decided on a stove. Our sink arrived in the mail today. Ooh! This looks pretty nice. I like it. It looks kind of big, actually. One of the first things we needed to figure out was the table. We wanted something thin and ideally wood, so we had the idea to buy a cheap pine table from IKEA and modify it so it would work for the trailer. This is the tabletop that we got from IKEA. Nick just cut it a little bit, and now we're gonna try to figure out how we round these corners. It's easier to get in and out of the table area when these corners aren't there. No. So yeah, we're just trying to figure out how much of this corner we want to cut off. It's certainly not precise. Do you like that? These are the two stains that I've been testing for the table. We tried some other ones over here, but these are too yellow. You can see like way more yellow here. So I tried these two. The time has come to stain the table. We're going with the English chestnut. I'm a little nervous. We did 2 coats of the stain, and I love this color. This is exactly what I was going for. It's a very warm tone, slightly red undertones, I would say, and it just is awesome. So now we're putting the polyurethane on it. I'm gonna do 3 coats of that. Gotta wait a few hours in between each coat, so it's kind of a long process, but then the table will be done. And I'm so excited to have a table in there to sit at, put all the things on. Excuse me, I'm filming here. The kitchen has been kind of challenging. There are so many decisions that we need to make and so many options. I've spent hours reading blog posts and forums and pros and cons of all the things. So we have 3 main things. We have the fridge, the countertops, and the sink. We are not putting a stove in here, which is kind of surprising, I know, because I loved that original 3-burner yellow retro stove that was here. I totally wanted to reuse that, but we took it out. We were not sure that it even worked, and at the end of the day, we just decided that it was too big for something that we probably wouldn't use. It was 3 burners and a whole little oven, and I would rather be cooking outside as much as possible. I couldn't find a simple little 2-burner propane stove that I felt safe and confident in to put in this trailer, so we just decided to not do any stove in here. That'll give us some more counter space, which is nice. And then we have the sink, and then we have the fridge situation, which we ended up getting a 12-volt fridge, so that should work with our whole power system, although now we're kind of like hoping that we have enough power to run the fridge. We should be fine on paper. That's sort of the update with the kitchen. This has been on hold for a little while as we are deciding all of those things. We have triple digits again today, but I'm gonna start painting the ceiling the off-white color. I'm very excited. I love to paint, so I've been looking forward to this day since we began. painted the ceiling, I moved onto the walls using the color Explorer Khaki that I had planned in the original design. I was so excited and confident in this color that I went ahead and bought an entire gallon. Turns out that was a mistake, and this is where I ran into my first design problem. I was so excited to paint this little bed area with that Explorer Khaki color, and it just doesn't look right. This is coming across very green. I would call this sage. And I like that color, but it's definitely not what I was going for. And so now I'm just kind of bummed, but also not really sure what to do. I bought all this paint and I don't want it to go to waste, but with the rust colored bedspread that I'm pretty much set on, because I love that color, I have that. So I'm gonna use that, and then I feel like it's gonna look like Christmas here with green walls and a reddish bedspread. Paint is so tricky. When I started painting, I thought, this looks weird. And I kind of thought, oh, this is just kind of in my head. But now that I've painted this whole area and I can really see it, it's definitely very green. I was going for like a more neutral khaki color in this little nook. Thank you. It is a new day, and RIP my design plan. I'm just gonna wing it. I got some new paint this morning, a sample of this color, painted this wall. I think that looks really good. This over here is the one that I did yesterday that still looks so green. That is not at all what I was going for. So this is closer. We're just gonna go with this and move on. Now I have to go back to Home Depot. No day is complete without at least 3 trips to Home Depot, right? And so I'm gonna go get more of this paint and paint the rest of this. I don't know what I'm gonna paint the kitchen now. Maybe I'll stick with my original color, but I have a feeling that is gonna look too dark now. So, let's see. Goodbye, weird green color. Just about done. I love this color. This is exactly what I was hoping. It's a very like cozy, grounding, earthy color, and I think it's gonna be such a great base for all the other things that we want to do in here. So I'm glad we got all that sorted out. But now we just need to decide on the second color for all of the cabinets and probably this wardrobe here. I think I'm gonna change that color based on how things went with this first color. Right now we did Riviera Beach on the walls here, and I think I'm gonna go with Adventurer for the cabinets in the kitchen and the wardrobe. This was a color that I really liked but didn't pick. It's kind of closer to an olive green, which I love that color, so I think this will work a little bit better in here, but I'm gonna get a sample and confirm before I buy a lot. And I like this color better. So, boom, done. What are you working on?
Doors. Here's one of our cabinet doors. Without the panel. So we gotta cut a groove and put a panel in, but then we'll have our doors.
Oh my gosh, I love it. We have a bunch of scrap panels, pieces that we're trying to use up for these doors. I think this will work.
Cut there. Panel.
Drilling more pocket holes. And then I can get back to painting. Considering we went with 2 totally different colors than I was originally planning. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I do love this color. It feels kind of like we're, I don't know, not almost done, but things are coming together in here. But we still have so much stuff to do on the outside with the trailer, the wheels, paint on the outside. There's just so many other big tasks. So I don't want to get too excited because we're not almost done. We got the hinges for the cabinets. So this goes in there and then this will attach to the cabinet. These will go right about there. Ooh, I love these. Today, we're back. I was thinking about all the curtains in here and I really was trying to find DIY or budget ways that I could do curtain rods and make some curtains. And then I had a light bulb moment yesterday and I realized that in our closet, we have a few curtains that we're no longer using. We've just upgraded or changed our condo and these have just been sitting in the closet. And I thought, let's see if these would look good in here, and then I can just cut these, re-sew them, and make curtains out of this and not have to buy any new fabric, which would be awesome. So that's what I'm thinking today. I have one panel of this, which is a blackout curtain, and I was kind of thinking it'd be nice to do blackout curtains in the little bed area and then more sheer ones up front. I would rather be able to just reuse stuff I already have than have to go buy more stuff. My concern is that this would be too sheer. At night, I don't want people to be able to see inside. Still deciding on the cushions. I ended up returning the other fabric that I bought because we changed the colors in here and I think it might have been a little bit harder to sew that velvet than I thought because I really don't know how to sew. So I think I might do some measurements today and then tonight I'll sew a test one and then we can kind of see how it's going to look in here. I picked up these curtain rods from Walmart today and I looked all over the internet for very thin, very low profile curtain rods. I basically don't want you to be able to even see these. And these are the only ones that I could really find and they're really cheap. It was like $3 for one of these. So I'm going to see how this works too. I bought two different kinds. This one's slightly bigger. There are so many of these little decisions to make and things to figure out, but this is a part that I am really excited about, getting to learn to sew and to make this look really homey and like our dream little camper. Watched some YouTube videos, so I think they turned out pretty good considering I have never done this before. Like that. I love them. They're so cute. I'm pretty impressed with myself. When I first made them, I forgot that it needed to be two, like so that you could push them to the side. So then I had to undo the stitch up top and then cut them and make two pieces. But overall, for my first time sewing curtains and learning how to use a sewing machine, this is pretty good. I've wanted to learn to sew for a while, so this was a good excuse for me to do that. I started knitting like almost 2 years ago, I think, a year and a half or so. I love knitting and sewing was the next thing that I wanted to learn how to do. Believe it or not, I found another panel floating around our house that I could cut up and use, and it's still pretty light, but it is more blackout than this one here. So I think I might use this pattern for the ones here by the table and then use this for the bed area. I don't know if they're ideal colors necessarily, but I am determined to reuse these and not have to go buy more fabric. So I'm gonna make this work. Glad I'm doing this before I attempt the cushions because that's gonna be a little trickier. So this is good practice for me. The other thing that we're doing today is trying to install this table. It's kind of hard having it floating around here because there's just not very much space and it's just a mess in here. So we're gonna try to get this thing done. Nick is back at Home Depot because of course we went this morning and forgot to get the screws for the table, got the screws for the cabinets, but not the table. So he's back there. He installed these little railings this morning. And so technically you'll be able to bring this bed down and turn this whole area into a bed. I don't think either of us are very confident in this table being used as part of a bed. I feel like it might break, but we're going to have that option just in case we need or want to do that. We have this whole little like bracket system that we got on Amazon, and yeah. Overall, turning the IKEA table into our trailer table worked pretty well, but we did make one small mistake.
This little mount makes it easy to go from a bed like this up to a table. That works.
Woo!
So then our table will be about there.
Well, this is good. It's a little bit high, but there's also going to be like a cushion. So I think that'll be perfect.
So we just need to do the table leg. You can see it's a little warped, but
it's not that bad. Like,
it's not terrible.
It's really cool.
I'm annoyed that it warped, but we put this down here to kind of add some support to this so it wouldn't warp over time, but I guess as I did that pretty early, and then I think as the table dried and shrunk a little bit, it didn't shrink on bottom, but it did on top, and so we have this little, it's warped this way a bit, but I don't know, not the worst thing in the world.
Woo!
It looks tiny.
They do look really tiny. Ooh! Dang, that looks so cool. Yes! Cabinet door. Considering Nick and I have never done something like this, they look so good. And the handles, getting to reuse these, I mean, how unique and cool are those handles? So, a good day at the trailer. Our fridge is here. Getting sawdust all over me. We're at a trucking company to pick it up and we're gonna load it into the car. This is right. Trucks. We're in the back here waiting for someone to come out with the fridge, and Nick brought some straps, so hopefully we can get this to the trailer today and figure out if it fits. Made it!
Got it?
Yeah. Ready?
Watch your toes.
Yeah. It's getting windy and I just heard some thunder. There's a storm brewing right now and this does not fit through the door, so we do have to unpack it before we can get it in the trailer. We've had a lot of storms lately, so we've had to work around that, but we managed to finish the wardrobe area and the kitchen cabinets. So far, we haven't found any new leaks.
Trying to put our table leg on.
You look hilarious right now.
This sucks. That's sturdy.
Ugh. Yeah, this feels nice. I love it. This table took forever, but it's pretty cool. It's got me really excited. I mean, we're getting so close. I can kind of start to imagine us using it now, you know? I didn't really do much today. I kind of just sat and watched Nick work. It's so small in here that it's hard sometimes for two people to get into a space, right?
Yeah.
Is that the reason?
I got the most work done when you were gone.
I went to the gym for an hour. I love it. Good job, Nick. Good job. The cabinets and the hardware, I am just in love with it. It is nicer than our home. Really just the finishing touches in here. The lights, all the light switches, the flooring, and then the cushions and the curtains, and this is pretty much done inside. But we still have a ton of work to do on the outside. Coming up on our vintage camper renovation, we're gonna start the butcher block. We have one shot at this.